Okay, I'm here with Josh.
Hello.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Asking a few questions about roofing, just like the top 5 questions that not a lot of people answer.
I'm here. I guess I've been at Glick about 5 years almost. Yeah.
Really?
I started out working on the roof.
Okay.
And so there was something special about being on the ground floor of the business, and all of us were working. Everybody, whether you were selling, you were part of the project from start to finish. And yeah, it was super small and super fun back then. And of course, there's more opportunity since it's grown. So obviously, for that reason, I like where things are going now. But I always have fond memories of the early days.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's important, you've been on all sides of it.
That's right.
So you know everything about
I know
roofing.
everything,
Yeah.
everything about roofing.
Damn!
So let's say you bought a new business and the roof is old. It looks really old, but I didn't want to wait until there's a leak.
Yeah.
What should I look for, or should I just call you guys?
You should call us. If you buy a building, I think it's a good idea before you actually buy the building. A lot of building owners, or when they're purchasing a building, investment companies will have someone go and inspect the roof, because obviously that will dictate the value of the building when they purchase it. But also, they can be ahead of issues before they buy it. And it's worth it, if the roof has reached a certain age, I mean, really any age, because even if it was a new roof, wasn't installed correctly. And so it's always good, I think, if you're gonna purchase a building, to have the roof inspected, and just to make sure everything's running up to par.
Right. What areas on the roof are the biggest? What areas on the roof are the biggest culprits?
So, depending on the type of roof it is, everyone's always going to tell you the seams, and that's absolutely true. You have metal roofs where you might have a standing seam or an exposed fastener panel. Then if it's not a metal roof, it could be a TPO roof or an EPDM roof. Those seams, water oftentimes will find a way into the seams.
Okay.
And then aside from that, anywhere there's an intrusion in the roof, I mean, it's fairly obvious. If you have something that's cut into your roof, whether it's a pipe vent, whether it's any kind of intrusion, water has a tendency to find its way nearby that. So those need to be sealed in or have boots on them. So those areas are culprits, and then also any fasteners, especially if it's a metal roof. And then another area that sometimes people report problems with their roof that they think are related specifically to the roof, when they have leaks along the wall, and oftentimes it's actually gutters that are clogged.
Oh.
So that's an issue that we've had in the past, where a building owner might call us and say, hey, my roof's leaking. We get out there, they have piles of leaves. And so one thing that's overlooked by building owners is maintaining the area around your building.
Yes, definitely.
So if you have tree limbs hanging out onto your roof, that's just going to leave debris on the roof. It's going to decay, it's going to affect the membrane, and it's going to clog the gutters, and then you start to have ponding water, and the roof just starts to break down a lot faster. So those are things that a lot of people forget about, is look at around the roof. Like, what could potentially clog your gutters, leave debris, because I mean, even in a storm, a branch could penetrate the roof if it fell on it, So I always try to point that out to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about landscaping being important for your roof and preventing the ponding and everything. I learned all about that with Kevin. So what are some ways to add longevity to your roof that are cost effective?
Yeah. One way we found that is amazing is roof coatings. And they're becoming more and more popular, and there's a variety of reasons why people like them. Oftentimes a roof doesn't need to be completely replaced.
What?
Even if it's leaking in various places around the roof, if the roof is not entirely saturated, you can coat that whole roof with a fluid applied seamless system and add another 20 years plus.
Glick wants to change the industry of roofing. These roofing companies want to just replace an entire roof. Even though we could make more money doing that, it's restoring it first. So it
5 minutes later.
The customer's peace of mind.
There are times when a roof needs to be replaced, but why would you replace a roof when you can restore it? And what I've come to find, doing this for a while, is when I go to a roof, I like to find out what the problem is and solve. I like to think of myself more as a problem solver than just a salesman.
I am the one.
And I think if someone goes to your facility and they don't locate a problem and just try to sell you something, then you wonder if they're really coming up with a solution or if they're just coming up with a generic approach that they use to make money.
Yeah.
So I think it's important when someone comes to look at your roof, they need to, you know, it's helpful if they can say, hey, here's your problem and here's your solution. And so I think that's what we're doing even with the coatings is, you know, if we can create a system on top of this roof that's going to stop it from leaking, why would we tear it off? It offers a lot of options for building owners when they're up against a wall, whether with a budget or just trying to adhere to codes. Like a coating is oftentimes a really great option.
Yeah. But I've noticed with all the sales guys here, instead of sales, it's more like consulting. So they talk to everyone like they're friends because they basically are. They want to help firsthand. Why should a customer call Glick instead of any other roofer?
If they've run out of every option for roofers, they're down to the last number on their Rolodex. Glick is a good one to call. We're kind of the last resort. We almost call ourselves the last resort of roofers.
Stop it. Get some help.
But the name was taken, unfortunately. So, and I've actually had a building owner tell me this, which is it's an interesting kind of compliment. When there's an issue, if there's an issue after we do a job, we'll go back. And one of the most common complaints I get about roofers from building owners, especially if I'm doing like a cold call. I remember the first time this happened to me, it was in Alabama, and I called this guy, and he immediately was angry at me, and he never knew me, and it was because the last roofer he had used had done his roof, and then when he went to call him after he had a leak, the phone was disconnected. And so there's this impression of roofers that they do the job and they disappear. And I vividly remember a customer who we did a job for calling me about a leak after we'd done the job. We came out, we took care of it, and he said, I knew you guys were good, or something along these lines, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, I knew you guys were a good roofing company, but I really knew you were a good roofing company, and I was really happy with you guys after I had a leak and you came out and you fixed it. And I've seen Ephraim, the owner of this company, really honor his word with jobs. Because, and even in some cases, it might be someone unrelated to us as the contractor. Sometimes there's the manufacturer you're working with, they have an issue, or there's other parts of the building that have been affected that are unrelated to the roof. He'll do everything he can to help you and to honor his word. And the other thing is, you know, we're not the kind of roofing company that goes out and chases insurance deals. We like to work directly with building owners when they're ready to have their roof done or repaired. And there's just a good, like, you know, you were saying, there's a great atmosphere within the company, even working here, and that's always positive when you go out to help the customers, like what's internally happening in the company, how are the employees feeling, how are, you know, the sales guys feeling. And I feel like, you know, it's kind of like a family, maybe too much like a family sometimes. I think, you know, Glick Roofing is a company that's going to honor what they say they're going to do. If there's an issue, they're going to go back and they're going to fix it.
Thanks for meeting with me today.
Anytime, you let me know.
We'll probably do this like once a month.
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably edit that. I'm being forced to do this.
Yes.
I'm being put in an uncomfortable situation against my will.
Thank you for watching, and subscribe.
Okay.
Like the video, subscribe,
Yeah.
and call us
Call
for
us
your
to do
roofing
your
needs.
roof.
Yeah. Thank you.